Welcome to Whose Review Matters Anyway, the podcast where the show notes are made up and the reviews don't matter, just like a re-release of James Cameron's Avatar.
You mean like a re-release of Spider-Man?
Well, hold on. First of all, let's be real. I knew
Damn.
you were gonna bring that up too,
Got
because I thought
him.
about that earlier when I was thinking about this intro. But let's be real here. Is there really a necessity for that Avatar re? That's the third time, right? Third, fourth time maybe that it's been re-released.
Well,
I
I'm
mean,
sure.
was
I'm
it
sure because.
necessary to release Spider-Man?
Well, yeah, I'm sure it's because Top Gun did it to get more money, and Spider-Man did it to get more money, and especially when Top Gun beat out Avatar for whatever place, what number 2 or number 3 in the top grossing movies of all time.
Right. So it's like to me, I take it as, oh, I'm going to re-release this because I'm just greedy and I just want to reclaim my throne, not because, oh, I should re-release this because, my sequel's coming out, so maybe I should give a refresh to everybody. Because I'm pretty sure that was just like, not this priority.
Didn't Endgame do the same thing too to get more money in the box office to beat Avatar?
Not to beat Avatar. I think
Yeah.
the reason that it
Yeah.
got re-released. Wait, no, wasn't the second time it was released was when the theaters were opening back up?
No.
I don't think so.
No, they did the same thing with what Spider-Man is doing is that they re-release Endgame and they added like what that 5 minute thing with the Hulk.
Yeah, I remember that now. That was awful though. Because
Yeah.
they didn't finish that up. They just literally inserted a deleted scene.
Yeah, and then because of that, it beat Avatar.
I don't know if it's because of that. I think it beat it the first time, but I'd have to go
Yeah, that's
back
what I
and
thought
look.
too. Like
Fact
it,
check
it
me.
already beat Avatar the first initial run, and it just re-released again because it just did well in general.
Well, but here's the thing, though. It's Avatar. I mean, the people will talk with their money, and I'm not gonna go watch it.
I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna.
I'm not gonna go watch it. I
Well,
have it
then
on
there you
Disney
go.
Plus.
Then it might be no reason to
Is it
re-release
on
it.
Disney Plus? Because I thought it got
Yeah.
pulled.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't checked if it's on
I thought it got
Disney Plus
pulled
recently.
because it was gonna re-release.
Hold on, pause, please. Can we play some elevator music?
Also, when is it? When's it actually showing in theaters?
Is it October?
Oh, because I would say if it was these past weeks, it would have been perfect time because there's nothing really major out right now.
It's either October or November because December is when we get the sequel. So it's either October or November that it gets re-released. I don't know. I just thought it was like, I'm not gonna go watch this movie. Who even remembers this movie anymore? The only people that might watch it are the Mikes of the world because they're really excited about the sequel. But then that's it. Like, who else is really gonna be like looking forward to this?
The billions of people that saw the movie.
Do you really think the sequel is gonna be a big hit?
It might be. I don't know. I mean,
Oh,
visual. I mean,
that's a good question.
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be a big hit. Maybe
I
it has an interesting story
I
in it.
think it will be successful, but I don't think it's going to be like blockbuster hit, like, top 5 grossing films of all time successful.
Do you want the movie to fail?
I don't want the movie to fail or to
It
succeed.
seems like you're kind of rooting for the movie to fail the way that you're putting it.
I'm just sick of James Cameron, all right, and his
Well,
copy.
why?
Whoa, see,
Like,
there you go. See,
oh
there,
no, you want to bring up
there it
something?
is.
Did you read what he said about binge watching shows and shit?
Yeah, a bunch of people have come out and said that directors wise.
Yeah,
But
I mean, he's kind of right though.
but no, hold on, no. There's a big
Let's not get
difference.
into that.
There's a big difference between having like a 8 hour long fucking movie versus having 8 hours to stream to be able to pause when you need to, right? There, like if I'm in a movie theater and I'm dedicated to sitting down and watching a movie, I don't need an 8 hour long quest and being like, oh shit, if I go use the bathroom, I'm gonna miss this shit. Like there's no pause button there. But if I'm binge watching, I have the ability to pause and then go use the restroom or pause and go get a bag of popcorn. I can pause when I need to. There's
What
like a big
happens?
difference in how you
So it
view.
sounds like Sal's supporting the streaming and not the theaters now.
Oh yeah, that is
You
kind of true.
don't give me. Listen, whose idea was it to do the Avengers marathon? Okay, who was it? Like, hey, let's go do this. All right, I'm all for that. But at least they did intermissions. They at least had in between breaks where you could go and do whatever you needed.
Okay, real quick question: how long has he stated how long Avatar is going to be?
Didn't he say like 3 hours?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
Titanic, man.
okay. If he says 3 hours and there's intermission in between, like a 30-minute intermission, will you be okay with that?
If he put an intermission,
Yeah.
yes. So
Also, you're telling me you haven't seen a 3-hour movie recently, bitch?
well, what's name the last actual full-on 3-hour movie? How long was Endgame?
Was
Endgame,
Batman?
3 hours.
Wasn't Batman 3?
No, it was 2 hours and 50 minutes. It
Oh,
just
Endgame, I don't think was 3 hours.
it was 3 hours.
I don't know. Batman 250. That's
Anyone
close enough.
check that?
Yeah, I mean even Disney Plus says 3 hours and 2 minutes.
Avengers Endgame. Elevator music, please.
There's your intermission for this 3-hour podcast.
It was really that long?
Oh my god!
Yes,
See, there you
because the
go.
movie was fucking fun and you were not thinking about it.
I'm pretty sure I'll go watch Avatar.
And also too, didn't no, actually how long was
But
Lord
that's
of the
also
Rings?
like
Lord of the
a
Rings was 3
10-year,
hours.
like that's a 10-year buildup, right? That's 10 years of like every year you're getting fucking content that builds up to that. What's the last Avatar thing? How many years has it been between Avatar 1 and Avatar 2?
It's
But
been longer
still,
than a
it doesn't
10-year
need to
build-up.
have a build-up.
It's been longer than this conversation really needed to be, that's for sure.
That is for sure.
Yeah, Justice League got away with 4 hours, but live streaming.
Oh yeah, Justice League.
But I could
definitely.
pause and then go and do whatever I needed to do.
Well, how long was the regular Justice League?
Unfortunately, I had to watch the whole thing. So like, I mean, I did a lot of pausing, but I wanted to back out.
I think the original was 2.5.
2.5, yeah. It felt like 5 hours.
Well, let's not make this podcast feel like 5 hours and just keep going with topics because we can go on about this for a while, it feels like.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we don't have like another dedicated homework assignment other than Rings of Power, but even then, that's going to be just an initial impressions because we're only going to really talk about episode 1. That's right, Mike. We're not talking about episode 2.
Yeah, don't talk about that.
He did a little bit of extra credit because, you know, he's got the free time, but we don't. So,
Motherfucker said watch its first 2 episodes.
no, I never said that.
Fuck you.
said
You
that there
said it
were
in the last episode.
out. I just said at least one episode. We did say at least one episode.
At least one. I did that.
You owe me a drink.
Ooh, okay.
Person who doesn't drink, but okay.
I'll buy you a drink. Okay.
No, I don't trust
So
him.
we'll save Rings of Power for last. We got a myriad of topics to talk about. Just some kind of throwaway ones, some filler, I guess you could say. We'll talk a little bit about Halo. We'll talk a little bit about the Apple event. We'll talk a little bit about Xbox and PlayStation.
A little bit of Halloween.
About Spider-Man, just for like a quick minute or two. So lots of things to talk about, but we're not going to make this, like a 3-hour tour here. So what do we want to talk about first? Halo, Spider-Man, PlayStation, Xbox.
What do we need to talk about Spider-Man for?
Yeah, you hear this, Mike? Halo and Spider-Man. Go figure.
But why Spider-Man?
No, I was just curious if you guys saw any of the added content into
Oh
it.
no, have you?
So because social media is apparently taking over my life, there were a couple of things added that people like are highlighting that either they hated it or they really liked it. There was actually one thing they really loved, and then this other thing where they're like, "Why is this even part of this whole thing?" Like,
What was one of the things?
so
Spoilers.
spoilers, people.
Whoa, spoilers. But I did watch a YouTube video that recapped and sort of talked about all the major things they added.
So for those of you that have been living under a rock, just last weekend they re-released Spider-Man No Way Home with 12 minutes of extra footage. There are only really 2 that are being talked about on social media right now. We'll do the positive one first. everyone seems to have loved the extended footage of the Spider-Man trio talking to each other, which
Yes.
if I have seen it and it is pretty funny. Like I'm like, why did they cut this out? Because
And you're
this,
talking about in the movie, not the beginning where they do a little intro.
yeah, no, and like when they're waiting for the villains to come,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah, where they extended like, oh, like out of context, Andrew Garfield's like, oh, I want to see them come out of those holes. Like he actually says that, but it's funny in the context given in the thing. And then there's also like, I don't know, that whole dialogue was just better with the extra few seconds that they added into it. So I don't know why that was cut out to begin with. I think they should have just left that in there. Um, the other thing though that people are kind of like divided against was the post credit scene. There is a post credit scene for this movie that actually is like a montage of the students of Midtown High.
Yeah.
So you see, you see MJ, you see Ned, you see Betty Brant, you see the teachers, and they're like kind of almost the same exact scenes as you saw in like Homecoming and Far From Home, but obviously there's no Peter Parker. So it's like a recap or montage of like, here's what's happened in these Spider-Man movies without Peter Parker in them, because no one should know about Peter Parker. No one knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So it's kind of like, here's this alternate universe of like what happened. Like this is how it is now. Which people were like, there's some people that are hating on it. It's like, I didn't really need this. This is kind of dumb. But some people where I'm on the side of was like, yeah, this is. I felt like this was good. This was like I kind of
Mhm.
wanted. I didn't know I needed this because it's nice to know how they acknowledged any form of Peter Parker or Spider Man at all, which they kind of didn't. So I just thought it was interesting.
Well, I could back it up with you too. I mean, I could be on your side as well. Like, we kind of have a little glimpse of how life is without Peter Parker slash Spider Man in their lives, and I think maybe it's a little preview of how the next Spider Man movie is going to be.
Yeah.
But I don't even think it was that. It was just a montage of pictures, correct?
No, it was actual video. Like it was videos. Like just
Okay. Okay.
yeah. I think maybe there was like a couple pictures in there, but there was also videos because you see the characters moving and stuff.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Damn,
Yeah.
that has to hurt, man. Can you imagine? The love
Well,
of your life forgetting about you, and then she ends up marrying Hot Goblin. Oh, this sucks.
okay. Mike's writing his own fan fiction, but sure. We'll
Fuck.
go with
Yeah,
that.
it sounds like it.
Yeah,
Um,
Ned, my bad. Oh,
but those are the only two that are going make are making the rounds on social media. I don't know if there's anything else significant. Ham, you said you saw a YouTube video. Was there anything else that's really worth talking about?
no, go
Uh,
for it.
Not really. I think maybe nah. They added Tom Holland's brother in it. He was supposed to be in it. Like he's a bad guy stealing a purse, and he Spider-Man wraps him up or whatever.
Yeah, I remember him talking about that in an interview. Yeah.
Um, Other than that, nothing major that I remember. I think there's a extended elevator scene, uh, and then another extended scene with Happy with Matt Murdock, but it's only a few seconds here and there.
I remember people talking about that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, was there another? You said that was the end credit scene you were talking about.
That was the post credit scene. Yeah.
Okay, and then there was one other scene with some dumb stuff here and there with like the coach is like, "Yo, Spidey claimed that" or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, but other than that, nothing major.
I still want to check it out in theaters. I still want to try to make it a showing. I was hoping to catch it for the $3 day because it was actually for $3. Like I didn't think they were gonna go through with it, but they did for
No, it
70
was
day.
I told you guys everything. I showed you pictures,
Yeah, it
IMAX,
was
RPA,
$3, and the
everything.
convention stand was $5.
Yeah, that
Bro,
was
what?
I was supposed to go watch it, but I got wrapped up into something else.
The what?
Like popcorn, soda, nachos, everything was $5.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that part.
Yeah, there were a couple TikToks that I've seen, that movie theaters were fucking slammed. Like
Yeah.
everything was
Oh,
sold out.
so
Well,
yeah,
and
that
they were
brings.
kicking people out because there was also people just straight up just going swapping out theaters. Like they were just like, "Oh, I'm done with this. Let me go into the next one. Oh, I'm done with this. Let's go into the next one."
Yeah,
Like
no,
literally all day.
I went that Saturday for $3 movies, and I've not seen the theater that packed in a while. I went to go see Bodies, 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 and even that was kind of packed.
Was that worth your $3?
For the 20 minutes middle. So here, I'm gonna just a quick 1 minute. You can time me if you want.
Go.
Uh, it pretty much sucks in the beginning. The end is gets better, and then the middle is perfect. It
The
makes
ending is so stupid.
it makes. Oh, I called it. I knew that was gonna happen because it's just it's people being very woke and very young and stupid.
Okay, it's not about woke. It's just about a new generation of a new trendy. How everything is all fucking trendy,
What
and
no,
there's
they talk
certain
about
ways.
they talk about triggering and talk.
Hmm.
There's a part about a podcast where the girl was like, "Yeah, you guys don't listen to my podcast. It's your smart and funny friend," and she groans. It's just like it gets. I started laughing. I was the only one, and me and Aaron were laughing because it was supposed to be funny. I didn't think because she has a gun and they're just talking about dumb young shit. And even at one point, the girl gets shot in the leg, and she's like, and they're fighting over the gun. She's like, "You guys are on my leg. You guys are on my leg." I thought hilarious.
All right, minute's over.
No,
Next.
that was it.
If we're gonna go on a snoo fest train for Mike here, like let's talk about Halo for a little bit because this is Ham's fault. Let's be honest here. This is Ham's fault
What did I do now?
because you brought up the comment. Oh, someone said that Halo was dead because they don't have split screen co-op or whatever.
Hey, that was
So
just a comment, man.
so there was another recent big update about the roadmap for Halo, and it's really pissing people off. And even to the point where I can't really defend the game. I can't.
Oh.
I just it's not about even the co-op split screen. I think the co-op split screen was like the last straw. I think that's where people drew the line because that was legitimately a promise they made since the beginning of the game's development. They were like, we want co-op couch like playing back for Halo. And to go like at the last second and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna cancel it because we can't support it. Even though people are making the rounds on social media saying there's a glitch to actually make it work.
I did see that.
It's just like what's going on their end that they're not telling us that it's because it's making things look way worse for them. But the whole for me, what's frustrating is this season, we're in the second season because the first season was 6 months. This was 6 months. This season got extended another 3 months. So
Yeah, Fallout's already in season 10.
so we're getting another we're getting like a 30 level battle pass, I think. And
Hold up, what?
yeah, we're getting another 30 level battle pass in September in a couple weeks.
That's free, right?
I think it's free. I'm pretty sure it's free.
Okay.
But that's because then this season doesn't end until wait, what is my if I did my math right? September. So October, November, December. Wait,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't make sense. Maybe it's another 6 months then. Because I thought third season was supposed to start in March. The third season's way over the fucking time limit of when they said it was going to be. So they're like, oh, we'll just give you a 30 level battle pass, like to attack on. Okay. I finished your first battle pass in the first like month and a half. I haven't played the game in a month. There's like a new event this week. I haven't played it, haven't even turned the game on.
Me neither.
Um and it's like I don't know, like there's so little content, and people are getting pissed too that there's no extinction mode or zombies mode per se, because that's like been a main staple, especially during Halloween season, like during October month, where it's like that's like yeah, everyone wants to play that because why not? It fits with the spooky theme kind of
Is that
thing.
the flood mode?
Yeah. In your case, the flood mode, yes.
Yes.
Um, and I don't know, like if you look at the roadmap, it's so bare bones, and people kept comparing it to Fallout. People kept comparing it to
The old
Rainbow
Fallout,
Six
not the good Fallout.
Siege. People
Yeah.
kept comparing it to Halo 5 even, and Halo 5's timeline and roadmap looked way more full than in Halo Infinite. And it's like I don't know how else are you gonna defend this game. Like I I think people are, at this point, the people that are pissed are actual legitimate Halo fans, whether you want like people want to agree with or not. Because like I feel like people that aren't really Halo fans and just jumped on the bandwagon thinking Halo Infinite was gonna be a great game, where I have already left because there's nothing for them in here anymore at this point. So I think the people that are really pissed are just actual fans that want the game to do well, but it's struggling to do well at all. And so I'm just more pissed that the season has been extended. We're not starting season 3 until fucking March or whatever. And it's just like, it's just more time of me not playing the game because there's nothing for me to strive for anymore.
Also, Fallout seasons are free.
True. Well, I mean, you only have to buy the battle pass once at this point. And
Are you sure this 30 whatever one is free?
I am 97.6% sure.
Okay. Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't understand game development anymore because like
Money.
but where's the like at this point, like if you're a game developer and your game is shitty, like why not be fully transparent as to why you're shitty? Like
Wait, didn't they have an extra year?
or that's again going back to where's the transparency? What is going on? Like they if they would
Wow.
no, if they were just to have come out and said from the get go, especially during COVID, it's like, listen, no one worked during COVID. We've lost people. They gone to better things or look for
Got fired.
jobs. Hey, like we didn't have a director. We didn't know what direction we were gonna go with, and we're just doing things last second. It just seems like why couldn't you have just said all that stuff so that way we fully understood why the game launched the way it did? Other, because if you're just still withholding this information, you're looking bad. Like you're looking like you're not even caring about the game at this point anymore.
Can you use the excuse that I mean, well, that the multiplayer was free and that the game is somewhat free if you have Xbox whatever?
Was Rainbow Six Siege free? Was it free at all? Was any part of that free?
What are the past of like the
Anything?
new operations, the maps? The maps were free, but the operators, you had two choices: buy them with real money or grind to get the in store credit
And
in game.
I assume it's not an easy grind.
It's, I mean, it's not that easy of a grind, but it's kind of like if you play. I'm telling you right now, like
Sounds
I
like play to
I
win.
think pretty much almost, but then yet again, like if you played it nonstop in the beginning until like the first operators come on, the first two, or even that, you could have easily get $100,000. And plus, there's a booster. There's like these little boosters that help you get more currency in game. So honestly, it's not that hard to get currency in the game. It's just you just have to play a match, and in the end of the match, you'll get like 250 coins, and each match lasted around like maybe if the team is really bad, 10 minutes.
Oh,
If it's
really?
like back and forth, 30 minutes.
Ah, okay.
You know, it all depends, but it's it's very like to the point. No, like, no type of bullshit that you need to do this, do that. Yeah, sure, there's challenges that helps you even more to get more currency. So that's really, really cool, and that's what I give a lot of credit to Rainbow. But it's just like it gets tedious.
So my question is now: is there any decent multiplayer slash campaign first person shooter?
Call of Duty.
Call it for I don't know about call. I mean, honestly, right now at this point, Halo is almost like Call of Duty.
I think what has happened is that, and
People's expectations are going way too fucking high, thinking that those back of the days old school shooting games, how we used to feel when we were getting out of after school, it's over. It's gone. We're never gonna get that back. We have
and
to like move on.
so there's two things I was going to say really quick. I think I don't know if it's Call of Duty or Fortnite or maybe even Apex. I mean, I know Fortnite's been around longer, but like whichever game was the first free to play shooter and started monetizing shit, that ruined FPSs forever. Like
I
that ruined
I
how
can see that.
people
Yeah.
FPSs, because that leads me to my other thing I want to say is I think why people are so bent out of shape, including me, about Halo. And again, I love the gameplay to Halo Infinite. I love it, but I'm getting so frustrated that I don't feel like playing it any. Like I don't. I'm getting frustrated at the fact that I don't feel like playing the game. Like I legitimately am playing all these other games except for Halo because I just don't have the incentive or the drive to play it because there's nothing for me to gain. Um, I think what's getting people bent out of shape is that you had an awesome game for the first 5 entries where you had full on content, you had good maps, you had good weapons, you had all this myriad of like items and things that they kept experimenting with in Halo 3 and Halo Reach and all that shit. And now we get Halo Infinite, which is free to play, and everything that we had in one game, they're stretching it out and monetizing the shit out of it. And
Yeah,
it doesn't feel good. Whereas opposed to like, let's say Fortnite or Apex, those already started off as free to play. So it's not like people are getting pissed off at those as much because that's essentially what you expected. I when I go into Halo Infinite, it's almost as if like I'm feeling I'm jumping into Fortnite or Apex, and that's not a good feeling. I should feel like I'm jumping into Halo.
I told you, man. Halo 5. I mean, there was you could buy packs and stuff, but you can easily the way you or I were playing, it was easy to get enough credits to unlock everything. And the good thing about that was when you unlock stuff, you could still once you unlock certain stuff, you would unlock new stuff. Not like you get the same thing over and over again.
Right.
And I thought the game, I really loved 5, and especially the different modes that. Well, for me, it was all about
Warzone.
Warzone and all the stuff you can, use on certain game types. Like, hey, if I want a Banshee, I can get a fucking Banshee. Hey, guess what? I can use was it the Scorpion? Not the Scorpion, the Mantis. I loved using the Mantis. Whereas how many vehicles do we have in Halo Infinite if we're lucky and whatever game type it is?
Yeah, I was gonna say it depends also if you get lucky enough to get a map that has vehicles.
Exactly. Like what? I there's a myriad of, like you said earlier, of vehicles and just different weapon types and all that, especially when some of the game types are there and then later they're not there and then
Yeah. So I'm on
just
the assumption that because whoever fucked up FPSs for life, someone at the Microsoft execs, the upper echelons, was like, "We want all FPSs moving forward to be like this," and we're like, and they were probably forcing on Halo. And I want to give the benefit of doubt and said at least one person at Halo at 343 was like, "This is probably not the route we should take. We shouldn't do this." But obviously the bosses that write up the paychecks are like,
oh,
"Well,
they got fired.
if you're not going to agree with this and get fired and we'll hire somebody else." And then
Yeah.
that's what's been fucking it up. So
So are we agreeing the death of first person shooters?
I think I think I'm gonna still hold what I said is that we're expecting for it to be to for us to feel the same way how first person shooting games were back then and how everything is now. Everything is all currency, all that bullshit. I think we just have to unfortunately adapt of how it is now.
I can't agree with that. I can't.
I
But
mean, I like your openness about it.
It's just
But I
no. It's
mean,
just how many years have we like? Okay,
how many
Sal.
years have we
He.
over?
I mean, how many years has it been that we're like, "Ah, this is not. This doesn't feel the way that it used to feel." Each year, like each year, there's always a new shooting game. Like for an example, Call of Duty. Call of Duty comes out and it's the same fucking bullshit, and it comes out even worse, or just mid. There's never a moment of like, oh my god, you know what? This game is actually really good. This game is actually fun.
Yeah.
Maybe Sal, you felt that way with Halo, but I honestly could tell you, like after Halo 3, I don't know, I didn't like Halo 4. I didn't even bother with Halo 5 because I don't know, I just got
I
bored of
thought
the
5 was
franchise.
better than 4.
But yet again, was it better than Halo 2?
No.
Exactly. Like like what would you do to get that Halo 2 feeling back again?
God damn, have more time to play some games. Shit.
So I don't even, I don't have to go that far back to even like love FPSs again. I only have to go as far back as
Mhm.
Titanfall 2.
Oh,
Titanfall
Titanfall was my jam,
Yeah,
Titanfall
boy.
Titanfall was
like
good.
is like the like I think that's where FPS is peaked. I want to say that's where FPS is peaked, and then after that, it started going downhill.
Well, I blame you guys. I was hardcore Titan 1 and 2. Nobody was playing that shit.
I
Don't
wasn't
give me
playing
that
that
shit.
shit.
I was playing
Titanfall 2 I
too.
played a lot, and I love Titanfall 2. It was good. I think the only game that honestly that I recently loved playing every single day was Rainbow Six. But even that, they fucked up the game in my opinion. That they released a lot more operators that just felt unbalanced to the game, and it just was more of like, okay, who what character, whoever gets the character first wins the game. Pretty much. There's no really, there's strategy, but honestly, it's just comes down to of like, I don't know, being lucky.
Do we know if that Rick and Morty game is well, not Rick and Morty game, but the developers is multiplayer?
Uh oh, it's going to change everything.
FPS has come back.
Right.
Ham, to answer your earlier question, the 30
Yeah.
level battle pass is free. Um,
Okay.
November starts in November, early November, and then extends all the way to March 7th. And March 7th will start season 3 of Halo Infinite. God
Mm.
damn, all the way in March.
God,
Okay.
that's too fucking far, man.
And
Nothing even during the holidays, like nothing good.
and if you look at the roadmap, it's just it's so slim. It's like you could easily just. I mean, I don't. Again,
Has there been a
this
percentage of how much players they have lost?
I mean, after the first week,
I
I know
mean,
they
you could
lost
probably see people.
player.
Well, you don't even see that number anymore on
No,
games.
not anymore. Back then, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, we don't have to keep ranting about that. I mean, I could go on for a little bit, but no. All right, we're done. Halo Infinite. Let's move on.
We're done.
On
We're
terms of Xbox and PlayStation, just because Mike and I haven't had an argument in a while, thought we'd bring up something that we'll see where we land on in this conversation.
DC cancel their DC Phantom event.
That was still a thing.
Yeah, they
No,
canceled it.
yeah, I thought they were gonna talk about it because of all the stuff that's been.
Yeah, but no, they canceled it.
All right. Well, Xbox and PlayStation. Here's the latest thing that people are gonna bitch and complain about. So some executive at PlayStation, I don't know, some high pay grade up there, basically, for the lack of a better phrase, bitched and complained about Microsoft's deal with Activision Blizzard and making Call of Duty exclusive eventually to Xbox, because apparently when the deal went down, Xbox Phil Spencer had said, "Hey, for 3 more years after the deal with Activision and PlayStation, we'll honor that Call of Duty will be on all consoles for 3 more years." Fact, and
Yeah,
someone at PlayStation, some upper echelon guy was like, "This deal is not fair. It's not and like use. It's not gamer friendly. They don't understand how it's going to impact the gamers and all this other stuff about how like they should have extended it or how it's such an underwhelming deal." Do you guys agree? Disagree? Sounds about right.
I
Agreed.
mean,
Next.
honestly, I don't fucking care. I mean, Sony is just at this point. They're like they're trying to hang on for dear life with anything. Active. Bungie buying Activision, buying what's this other company that they bought, Bethesda.
I
I
know
think,
them.
yeah, you know them, yeah, you like their shitty game. What what Sony is just like, you know what, it's not fair, we were here first. That's
Also, that
Sony.
Deathloop game better come out this month or next
What
for
game?
Xbox. Deathloop.
Deathloop, oh, that's gonna
Oh,
be, no, it's gonna come out for PlayStation as well too.
No,
no, it
it's
already
it's
came out.
out for PlayStation, but just for PlayStation
It's
5.
it's a time exclusive thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a time exclusive thing. Oh, okay, got you. I don't know. Honestly, Sony is just bitching and moaning that they're not moving fast, and they're just focusing on making more PS5s. Even though I don't know how they cannot make more PS5. Of
Wait,
course,
what's a PS5?
I don't know, something that came out that people keep on buying and thinking that is the best thing in the world.
Really? Because I've not seen one in
Um,
person. I think that's you're talking about this Loch Ness monster.
I've seen at least four where I work at, like people walking past.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like dangerous. Like, why the fuck are you gonna walk around with that?
You're gonna get jumped.
Um,
I don't know.
exactly.
I don't know if this is like a Xbox bot Twitter post thing or whatever, but someone mentioned online like there were more PlayStation 5s at pawn shops than there were Xbox Series X's.
How much are they selling in the pawn shops?
Oh, I don't know.
800. I
Double.
actually have a good answer for that because I've have three people that bought it off of pawn shops for $800.
Gee.
Wow.
Yeah, and I said why? They're like, oh, I really wanted it, and I just cough up the money because I didn't want to stress myself out. It's just like it's there's other better things, man. There's switches. You could get an Xbox like quicker than a PlayStation. You
I
know what
was
I
at
mean?
Target the other day and they had 2 Series X and 3 Series S's in stock.
There we go. There we go. Pretty soon, maybe Daddy's gonna get a new one since Daddy got new
Oh, I'm
money and
getting
new
the Pokemon
job.
one. I held out for it. They announced it today, and I'm like, damn straight, I'm getting that one when it comes out.
Wait, which one?
There's a Pokemon themed OLED Switch coming out on November 4th.
You're
So
lying.
so
Oh
I,
yeah,
I
because Mike's gonna get it.
yeah, I
No,
know.
no. I guarantee you. I promise you. If you send me that link, whenever it's going to come out, it's going to come out like in Best Buy, like GameStop.
I don't know. The pre-orders haven't gone up yet, and
I'm
I don't
sure
Okay,
those things are gonna go quick too.
okay,
Oh
but
yeah,
you let
for sure.
you let me know, and I'm buying it. You
It's a
let
good
me
look.
know.
It's a good looking Switch too.
Does it
Send
come
me
with
the
the
picture.
game?
No, it does not come with the game.
I don't need the game. It's
Ooh.
okay. It's okay. Fuck you, him. Shh.
All
So,
right. No, let's move on because we got two things to talk about. All right, let's get into
fuck
our main
them. Let's talk
stuff.
about the place.
No, let's get into our main stuff.
Money.
All right, first thing, the Apple event.
Pass.
There's new iPhones, people. All right, moving on to our last thing we talk about. I really did skim through the event because I have a couple things that I started nitpicking and it started bothering me.
Desserts.
I
And I
saw
think
the
I'm
whole
at a point,
thing.
I think I'm at a point though where it's like I and I've said this last year and I've been saying it that Apple has not done anything really new year by year.
But
Uh,
that Pro.
sure, okay.
Bro, how many times did they have the Pro already?
No. But the Pro, the way that I think the only thing I'm amazed of where
Let me guess, a better
the
camera.
speaker, the top speaker. No. The top. Well, of course they said that they improved
Okay,
the
hold on.
camera.
Let's go this in order. Let's go this in order really quick. All right. So the Apple Watches was the first thing that they showed. There's nothing really new about it except that they showed off a new watch, Apple Series 8 Ultra. And then I'm sorry, and a second new watch as well, which is is that the Ultra, Mike, the rugged one? Is that the same thing as the Ultra?
Uh
The one that can like survive snowstorms and shit.
oh yeah, that's the Ultra. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the Apple Watch Ultra.
The Ultra, which is for the same fucking price as like any other high end laptop at this point. $800. Eight
Yeah.
hundred dollars for a fucking watch, which actually has one cool app I thought was really neat.
I heard
I'm
you
not
could
gonna get into that.
I heard you could buy a PlayStation 5 with that much.
You know what? Fuck
Um,
the Switch. I need that.
Which the Ultra is really designed for the people that are actually legitimately doing like outdoor shit that are like fucking like
Like him.
skiing, scuba diving, all this other crap. Like, I mean, if you're a fucking high schooler or like someone that's just got into college and you got an Ultra, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Like, what drugs are you selling that are getting you something that you needed this that bad? Like,
Honestly, I think out of all of us, Ham needs it the most. Like
oh
the
my
amount
god,
of
don't give him ideas.
I
the
do
amount of shit that he
buy
drinks, like honestly, it's just like how the amount of shit that he drinks
That
is like
that
the
should have been
watch.
that
Yeah,
should
the
have been
watch.
part of the animation where they showed like the snow, the fire, the desert, and all that. It should have showed Ham spilling like a vodka bottle or something on it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's just like look at this. Look at him. He
yeah,
drinks, and the watch thinks he's scuba diving. How great is this?
Which
can
I
you
mean, okay,
survive me? Yeah, drinking. That's
I'm
the
gonna be super heavily biased here. I did pay attention to that whole bit. the when they did the Oceana Plus app and the scuba diving thing, because I'm like, that's legit, because that replaces a whole fucking diving computer, which is not obnoxiously large, but it's like it's still like cumbersome. So I'm like, that's actually pretty good. Not $800 good, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
That's it. Yeah. Okay. After the watches, did they talked about AirPods, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah, they
which
talk about AirPods right after.
yeah, which doesn't like. There's only two new things. It's got it can charge with your Apple Watch charger. Cool, I guess. And
Sure.
then it's got a loop. That's it. It's got a little loop string on it.
Got a loopy
Yay!
loop.
Same price, $250 though.
Does it have a GPS when I lose it downtown?
Yeah, it actually does.
Oh wait, no, it's right. Yeah, it does. It does connect with your phone, and you can find it. It's like the Find My iPhone thing.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about each earbud.
Oh no, you're fucked.
Yes, because
Now they
that's
got to save something for next year.
yeah. I'm gonna lose one ear, but I'm like, where's this fucking earbud at?
God. After that, then they finally got into the phones, right?
Yeah.
Because nothing. I feel like there's something else I'm missing, but I think that
Pretty much that's it. They just talked about more about like the honestly, the most spent thing was the Apple Watches, of course. I feel like
yeah,
the Apple
I'm
Watch
sure they're
alone
making
was
a
like
lot
an
of money off the
hour.
phone.
Oh
without
yeah,
it.
for sure. Yeah, it's like for the Apple Watch was like an hour, like nonstop talking about just the Apple Watch and like the two versions of it.
Yeah,
I
at
think
one
it was
point I
like
kept checking the time. I was like, "Are they gonna have time to talk about the phones?" But then when you hear them talk about the phones, there's really not much to talk about.
yeah,
Also,
they try to make up so much bullshit. Like what fucking annoys me is that they fucking use this high technology vocabulary
oh, you hate
to
the big words.
The big
yeah,
word.
big words that make no fucking sense.
That's what I said when they started talking about like the high velocity drop rate or whatever. I'm like, just say it fucking falls, all right? Just say that. Like, why do you have to do this like stupid fancy shit term? Like,
I'm wondering who writes their speech. Like
I
marketing?
do.
Is it
but
marketing?
okay, so
I
for the
do.
phones though, so here's the thing. They introduced iPhone 14. Oh, plot twist! Like we didn't know that was coming.
Brass.
iPhone 14. Okay, so iPhone 14, iPhone 14 Pro, and then iPhone 14 Pro Max. They did something new this year, where now they introduced the Apple iPhone 14 Ultra. Is it Ultra or is it God, what is it? Oh, Plus. I'm sorry, Apple iPhone 14 Plus.
No, pro.
No, Plus. There's an iPhone 14, iPhone
That's
14
not even new. They used
Plus.
to have a plus back in the day.
Well, now they brought back the Plus.
They
What's
brought
the
back
SE?
the cheap
That's why
version.
they don't have a new SE this
Can
year.
we go back to the Apple Watch?
So
Next.
okay, so again, iPhone 14, iPhone 14 Plus, iPhone 14 Pro, and an iPhone 14 Pro Max. Those are the iPhones that they talked about. Now here's where it starts to get like where I really kind of wanted to bitch about a little bit. So you know how they used to like here's all the iPhones, here's the chip for all the iPhones. Now like 5 months later, oh, there's a new chip that we're gonna start implementing in all the iPhones. You know how they used to do that? Now, what they're doing is here's the chip that we introduced last year into these base model iPhones. Now
No
in the
chip
iPhone,
anymore.
now in the Pro models, you get the new chip that we just invented. And now they're just like really like gatekeeping the new chips that way.
I'm confusing the chip with the SD card. Now you don't need an SD card.
Oh,
What are you talking about?
SIM
SD
card.
card.
He's talking about the SIM card.
The SIM card. Oh yeah, that's
Oh, two
Yeah.
different things, motherfucker.
Yeah.
oh.
But like the, you know, they're
Follow us for more advices for technology.
but you know, they talk about their A15 chip, which was used last year or
Yeah,
kind of earlier this year. Now that's in the base, you know, iPhone 14s, and now they're introducing the A16 chip, but only in the Pro models.
and that's what I saw. A lot of people were disappointed that they didn't put the 16 on the regular phones.
Yeah, because that doesn't make sense to me. Like you're legitimately forcing people then to buy the Pro, right? That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to say, hey, you want the newer, bigger, badder stuff? Pay a 500 fucking more dollars to get the bigger,
Five
badder
more.
shit. Now,
Okay, I gotta say this though.
I always get the Pro. Sorry, guys.
oh, are you gonna talk about that stupid little black label thing at the top where it like anamorphs into all these different things?
Yes and no. But first, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna
Oh
say
no, he
something.
says Animorphs. That sounds cool as shit, though. Wait,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was going to mention. I mean, that right there to me, I think that was really cool.
Is it $300 cool?
Is it $300 more?
You know what?
It's only so much.
I gotta tell you guys something. This or I gotta say something.
He's gonna buy an iPhone.
I have to upgrade. You know why I need to upgrade? You
Why?
because I have an literally the iPhone X, the iPhone X when it first came out, and my
Sure.
phone is fucking killing me right now. So I
I mean,
have to.
Oh, it's killing you with what, like a gun or knives? Or...
It's killing me because like the phone is it's trying to it's on its last wheels, you know what I mean? And the thing is like I need to buy a new iPhone, but I want to get so fucking judged by so many other people that don't know my situation. That's the
sure.
only thing that fucking sucks.
All right, hold up. Let's do some math here. The X is how many years?
2017,
You're
2018.
$50 of trading credit for that too.
Let's say 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Might slide. You might get a slide on me.
And
What the fuck your slide? I need a new phone.
I'm getting a new phone just because it's I tend to upgrade every 2 or 3 years, and I'm at my third, right? Because I have the 11, so this would be third year that I went without an upgrade.
Didn't that come out last year?
The 11?
No, motherfucker. This is the 14 now, right now.
Oh, I thought they skipped
I'm
numbers.
going to
You
upgrade.
watched the whole thing, right?
But okay, so we're skipping. We got to get to the point here.
Yeah.
Okay, pro models
Go for it.
legitimately the only difference, right? Fuck the extended battery life. Fuck the high resolution screen.
battery.
That's all standard shit at this point. All right, I'm not impressed anymore by your brighter colors, by your 15,000 cameras you're gonna have on this fucking phone. Like, I'm done. Like, you haven't done anything new. You're just one up in it. You probably could have done this 3 years ago, but you stretched it out just to like bullshit us. What the only thing that's legitimately new between the standard models and the pro models is that, Ham, if you look at your iPhone right now, you know that black box that's there that's sticking out like a sore thumb at the very top of your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not there anymore technically. What is there is still a black box, but it's on the screen and it fucking changes. It like it like transforms into like these different animations depending on what is going on, depending if you get a phone call, depending if you're sending an emoji, depending if you're trying to flick off mic, like all these different things. Like it just changes
Wait,
itself,
why
so that way
fucking
it's not like it's that way it's not like an obtrusive like stupid thing that's sticking out here. That's it. That's all it does.
for $300? It's pretty cool, bro.
It's not $300 more cool.
But hey, it's cool.
But okay, here's the biggest scam that I feel like
I
no
think
one's
Ham
questioning.
is so in shock of how cool it is. He hasn't said a word. Or I think we lost him.
I'm here. I'm listening. $300. I always get the pro. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, yours is easy because you got the pro. You always stick with the pro. Anyway, here's the real scam. So going back to the iPhone 14 Plus, it's a bigger screen. That's all that's different, really. It's a bigger screen. It's a 6.7-inch screen for those that give a fuck.
Also, I do like the bigger screen. Yes.
You're one of those people that give a fuck. But what's weird is that you can't get the Plus until October. All these other iPhone models are out on the 16th. But this one in particular, the Plus, which is just a bigger screen, doesn't come out until October 16th.
Hold on. So hold up. Is the Plus bigger than the Pro?
No, it's a little bit smaller than the Pro.
But it's bigger than the regular 14.
Actually,
Yeah.
someone needs to fact check that, how big the screen is on the iPhone 14 Pro. It might be the size. But
we'll correct it on the Instagram page. I'm not gonna.
Oh, really?
But
I'll look it up.
does anyone not think, right after I just said that iPhone 14 Plus, the bigger screen of the standard iPhone, is not coming out until October 16th? Does that not like scream out to you, hey, we really don't want you to waste your money on the iPhone 14 model. We really want you to waste your money on the bigger, more fucking expensive phones because we know you want the top line.
But
shit.
they've done that. The regular or the mini, which I think they discontinued the mini, if I've heard correctly. Those one would come out first, and then the Pro would come out later. That's always been somewhat the model.
But I would argue
Hold on.
the difference between those two, like there is a definite difference between like your standard model and your premium model. Like I can kind of defend that one, and as much as I don't want to, I can
Yeah,
kind of defend that one. But here you are literally just adding point 0.7, no, 0.6 inches onto a screen, and I have to wait like a fucking month to get that phone.
yeah, but okay, people will wait. But my question is it?
Actually, you know what? It's actually the same size.
Thank you. I was about to ask, like, what is the actual size? So there isn't. So what is the difference? I still don't. I'm not sure.
It's just the size of the screen. That's it.
No, he just said it isn't. He said it's the same size.
No,
It's
he
the
said
same.
the size is the Pro.
Yo, yeah, the big size for the regular 14 versus the Apple 14 Pro, the big size, they're the same size.
What? Well, the Pro Max is always the bigger one,
No,
correct?
no, no. Okay, Ham. I see where you're being confused. See? Fuck you, Apple. I see we're being confused. Okay, Ham. Okay.
Ham, eyes on me.
I
Eyes
can't
on
see
me.
you.
Okay. There's the iPhone 14,
Regular
and then there's the iPhone 14 Plus, which is still
plus,
the regular. It's just a bigger screen. They're the
correct. With the same.
same goddamn fucking phone.
Okay.
It's just the Plus is a 0.6-inch bigger screen.
All right, and then there's also a
Now
Pro.
your Pro model and your Pro Max.
There you go.
Don't buy an Apple phone, people. Don't.
Fuck you. I need a
Oh no, no!
upgrade.
You just said don't buy it. Aren't you two buying a new one? I am not buying a new one.
I ain't paying
I
extra money for this shit.
I need to buy a new phone, so I have to pay
I'm
for
getting
the
that
extra
free
money.
credit statement on there.
I think I
Yeah,
might
yeah,
actually
right.
get
Once Andrew sees like a
if
cool blue, we got a Sonic blue. This guy's paying an extra.
I mean, they are releasing a red color for the iPhone for the 14 Plus. That I was like, damn, I want that color. But
You gotta
then when
wait
the
till
Pro
October.
wait until October. But then when I saw the Pro, I was like, well, I need to get a Pro now. So now I have to get just the space gray, and it's black, not space gray.
Sounds like they got you.
I mean, this is what I mean. Like, I need to buy a new phone, but I'm gonna get judged by it. By
Okay,
like, I'm gonna get judged no,
you are.
no matter what.
Last thing, if I can just please bear with me as I bitch about one last thing because it's just been getting more obviously stupid and frustrating at this point. At this point, I'm so tired of Apple that I just want like a bullet point list of their shit that they're announcing because I'm sick and tired of their stupid transitions and their cinematics for these things
Yeah,
because
just
I'm
go on
so
the
over it.
website.
The thing that stuck out to me the most, and this is where I started skipping. This is why I can't say that I fully watched the entire Apple event. I watched it up to the point where they were explaining, and you judge me for whatever, but you remember, Mike, when they were talking about the Apple Watch and how it's good for women because it helps regulate their cycles, right?
Yeah,
What?
Yeah, exactly.
I know
yeah.
what feature you're talking about.
Yeah, but that I'm not. It's not the feature I care about. What bothered me, and this is going to be really stupid, and you're like, why the fuck are we wasting our time on this? I just want to bitch about it. What bothered me and why I'm getting tired of their transitions is because the lady that starts talking about it legitimately starts in the fucking hallway, right? Like or I'm sorry, in the conference, and then all of a sudden transitions into a hallway. And I'm like, why the fuck did you move into a hallway? Like, what was the purpose of that transition? Everyone else was like where they needed to be, right? They talked about the car accident, they're on the street. They talked about being outdoors, they're out in the woods. But this lady is just like, you're inside a conference room, but now you decided you want to go out and try to find the kitchen because you're thirsty for a glass of water. Like, it just didn't make any fucking sense to me. After that, I was just like, I'm done. I don't want to watch these events anymore because they literally waste like 30 minutes on transitions that really have no relevant like anything to the fucking thing. So don't watch Apple events anymore. I'm tired of them. I'm gonna go for the IGN bullet point list from here on out because I just don't. There's not. I can't. Apple has done nothing new.
Or even or even wait till it's over and you can go on the Apple website and just compare the new phones, I guess, for the bullet points.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
All
pretty
right,
much.
last topic. Let's get into it. Rings of power, not ring of power, as some asshole tried to say it was before.
Exactly.
Oh,
Asshole.
Mike didn't outed himself. All right. Lord of the Rings, The Ring of Power, a prequel series to the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, including The Hobbit. Um, Mike wanted to go first in this one. This is just initial impressions. We're only going off by the first episode, though.
First
So
episode.
no second episode bullshit here, all right? Not all of us had free time to watch 2 episodes. Uh, but just again, context wise, I mean, let's just give some background in case we didn't mention it before. Jeez Christ, Harry Potter fans, Lord of the Rings fans, Mike, Lord of the Rings fans.
Nope.
No, not really.
Nope.
I'd say somewhat, yeah.
Ham, how much of the books did you read? Because I felt like you read at least one or two more books beyond like the main four.
Uh, Hobbit, and then the three, yeah. I
You didn't
never
read.
How many Hobbits books are there?
There's only one book.
just one, like you said in the last episode, and they extended 3 movies for that one book.
For no fucking reason?
Money.
Oh.
Ham, you didn't read the Silmarillion? I thought you
No,
did.
no, I knew about it. I mean, I caught up through some videos back in the day about everything, but yeah, it was basically the origin of the world, I guess.
Yeah. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fans in terms of like at least the movies, and then I got into the books, and I do like the books, but I say I read only the same amount as Ham did. So as far as like what the lore is and the background and all the hardcore details, I guess we're nowhere near as attentive to that kind of detail as like maybe some hardcore Lord of the Rings fans are. Because I think there's more than just a Silmarillion, right? They had other series, didn't they?
There have been other series that have come out that was written by the son of Tolkien. Um, One something closer to about the second era, because this show, I guess, is based off the second era. Silmarillion, the first one, and then The Hobbit and the Fellowship of the Rings is all about the third era of all the Earth, or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there is also a new book coming out, but yeah, it's there's not much about this show in the books.
I know we agreed that the first trilogy, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, is better than the Hobbit trilogy
Correct.
to its use of practical effects
Hmm.
versus just a computer animation for the entire Hobbit trilogy. Um, and I just think overall, I don't know, just maybe the nostalgia, but I just think the Lord of the Rings trilogy had more of an impact than the Hobbit did. So,
Correct.
without further ado, Mike wanted to lead the way. Go ahead, Mike. Start us off talking about Rings of Power.
The reason why I wanted to go first, I just feel like my opinion about this show doesn't count since I I've
Didn't watch the.
seen I didn't watch The Hobbit. I've only seen like the three Lord of the Rings movies, but I do not know any. I don't remember any of the stories or the origins of
Yeah,
it. I just
you're like
know
5 when the first one came out.
no
5 months
six.
or 5 years old?
No, I was six.
Mm.
No,
Okay.
I was like I forgot how old I was, but I remember I went to the movies, to the movie theaters to go see the Two Towers
Mhm.
and the Return of the King.
Yeah, because you were too young for the original Fellowship.
I mean, I fell asleep in the first one.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I feel like my opinion doesn't really matter in this one.
I
And
don't
honestly,
agree with that comment though, because you got to imagine like this series is coming out way later after a lot of Lord of the Rings like fandom died down.
yeah.
So like it's this show's like kind of responsibility to be like, hey, let's interest you in Lord of the Rings.
Okay. So if that's what the show is trying to make me do,
Damn, I
make
should
me
first.
feel, um, it's gonna be super quick. I'm gonna just go through whatever. The show is fucking boring to me.
Whoa.
And
Um,
off just one episode of impressions, or you since you're the
both
one
of them.
both? Okay.
Both of them. I feel like nothing in the first or two episodes really gain anything except for just more character development, and even that alone, I just don't really care about the characters. There's a lot of talking, a lot of A
Oh, that's why I forgot. Yeah.
a lot of talking, like a
At least not a
lot.
lot of walking.
No, 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 a lot of walking too, to different locations while they're
I
talking.
guess so. There was a little bit. Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of
There was some
things that are
point.
going on, but it's just more conversation wise of building the world for you to get where they're at in the time frame. And that alone, I the first episode I had to rewind 10 minutes because I fell asleep for 10 minutes
Ooh.
on the first episode. And the second episode, almost the same exact thing. I forced myself to finish it, to try to understand it. I don't understand it. I don't really care. I am not interested at all. Honestly, I might not even finish the series. I might just say like I'm not gonna watch the whole entire series. Honestly, visually for sure. Like now I know. You know, I think everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
How
I know where you're going with that.
they spend billions of dollars in this show.
I don't know about billions.
Yeah,
But
that seems really high.
I mean, they spent a lot of
Maybe
money,
close to a billion.
maybe close to a billion. But yeah, like visually, costumes, makeup, all that stuff, you could definitely tell that this was they had the budget for it. But I just don't think, just story wise, it's not interesting. It's
Yeah.
not for me. I think it's definitely for the Lord of the Ring fans, and there's a lot out there. There's a
I
lot of
think they
fans.
mentioned 60 million an episode.
Damn, that's a lot.
Mm.
So for sure, this series is for the fans. I don't think they're going. Honestly, I'm saying this. I don't think the show it's for newcomers. I think this show is just for only fans that know the Lord, even though it's a prequel. But if they were trying to attract more fans for this show, I think it failed miserably. But this show is just for the fans that sort of have read the books and sort of have know all the movie knowledge of it. So for me, I'm going to just give this a red card and just call it a day.
So, a couple of things to bring up really quick. So, Amazon,
Yeah.
as it says here, according to Google, Amazon spent a reported $1 billion making the first season of Lord of the Rings of Power.
What the
But
fuck?
that's not that's counting they had to buy the rights to.
Probably.
Yes, but I mean, making the episodes, I remember seeing 60 million an episode,
So,
but they had to pay, like what, two, I want to say off the top of my head, I think it was 250 million for the rights just to have new
just so they
stories.
can with yeah. Okay. Now this is kind of I'm. This is an interesting. We bring up the age thing because I feel like that's going to be somewhat relevant. And then we did talk about a little bit about this off the air, and I'm surprised Mike didn't really bring it up because I really was kind of hoping he would, because
Mm,
a lot of people are comparing this to right now House of Dragon, but I feel like you can compare it to just in general Games of Thrones. Wait, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones. Jeez, almost pulling up here. Uh, so, Mike, when you watched Game of Thrones, did you watch it from the very first episode? Like, were
hold
you
up, hold up, hold. Did you ever read the books?
Of what? Of Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
No. I just
Okay.
seen the show. I'm just a fan of the show.
Okay.
but so did you watch it
Yeah.
from the very beginning, as in you when they're like, hey, first episode premieres on this day, and you were like, yeah, it's this day, I'm watching it right now, or was there already like a season or several episodes in, and then you started watching it?
No, I started watching. I got into Game of Thrones after the first season finished. And then I know somebody told me, was like, hey, you should actually watch it, get into it. The first season is a bit slow of Game of Thrones, but it does pick up midway of the season. Um, but right away the characters were interesting. Game of Thrones right away puts you on like where's everything at, where's everybody, who is everybody, and everything. And then that's when like season two started, and that's when I got into it.
Do you think that because there was a lot of people into it, your friends were into it, and you kind of knew where it was headed, it was easier for you to like Game of Thrones as opposed to this one?
No, no, because I actually put people into Game of Thrones more than somebody putting me onto it. I just heard a lot of like media stuff that the first season is actually pretty good and people should watch it. I think it's a upcoming, like they were saying, like it's a upcoming good show that's going to probably like become successful. And I was like, all right, let me give it a chance. And I saw it. I was like, it's pretty good. And then second season was great, third and some fourth. And I kind of like was telling everybody, hey, you should actually watch this show. It's actually kind of crazy.
So if and this is a lot of hypotheticals, and like because
Yeah,
I see where Ham would go with his conversation. If there was already a season of Rings of Power, and we're like, or let's say in midway of season two, would you have watched the entire first season and try to give it a shot? You know, with people saying that it was good, like it when we get to this point, it's good.
I will probably will. Like I can't lie. If somebody tells me like, listen, like you just have to pass the first two episodes or three for it to get good, and I might end up still not liking it because like for some reason I'm gonna just say the show Umbrella Academy, people were hyping the first season, and I saw the first season because somebody was telling me, like a lot of people were telling me, you should watch it. It's so good. It's so good. And I hated the first season. I thought the show
Really?
was so boring. I thought it was
Hmm.
so boring. Like it
Eh,
was. Oh, I didn't like any of the characters. Season two did a 360, and I ended up really liking the show,
180.
like a 180.
you said that before.
Put you right back where you were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, you know, people going back to like giving it a chance or whatever. People said the same thing about Breaking Bad, where you have to kind of get through the first
Oh
couple of
yeah, Breaking Bad
and
for
it
sure.
really picks up. And that's how it was for me because I remember watching the first episode and going, "Why do people want to watch this? Because this looks dumb. This looks like it's gonna be just boring from here on out." But then after we finally get like 3 or 4 episodes in, I was like hooked. I was like, "Oh, this is finally why." Like I see now why people like this show. So, Ham, to you now. I guess we'll just go ahead start with your thoughts on the Rings of Power.
But let me hit you right back, tag back. No tag backs, but we will. Did you get into Better Call Saul?
I don't. It's not on a free streaming service, so I can't watch it.
I recommend it. It already
I
finished, so
want to watch it, but when it gets on a free streaming service, sure.
okay. First episode. First episode. I think it laid out everything very well to where things are gonna go. I'm sure I saw something where there's going to be like 22 main characters. That's
Ooh.
going to be, which I think that's the norm for whatever Game of Thrones. But it's going to be a lot of names I'm not going to remember. But I got the gist of it. I mean, there's blonde chick ready to blonde elf that's ready to fight. Black elf ready to fight. A almost hobbit ready to adventure. Um, that one guy and the other guy, the elves chilling. Uh, what am I missing? Uh, Black elf's romantic partner. Other than that, the first episode, I think that was it. If I'm not mistaken. I was a because it felt like when they were on the boat at the end, they were going back to their original home. Right?
I think so. Like I don't know, but it almost made it seem like it was a what's it called? Not like whatever you call in general heaven, like heaven and hell kind
Right,
of
right. So that
like.
that that threw me off, right? So I wasn't sure too. I'm like, are they dying? Like, I'm not sure because they made it really seem like you're going back and it's like you're done. And I'm like, yeah, but this seems like they're gonna not come back. I thought,
So the way I was picturing it was like kind of maybe like a Valkyrie thing where it's like, you know, you go to like the warrior's heaven kind of thing. So you've done all this and now here's your great reward. You get to experience this thing, but there's no coming back from it.
but in the original whatever they're from, So then they traveled and made a place at Middle Earth, right?
They were, yeah, they were on their way to Middle Earth.
Because that's
I
because I it just that was a little confusing for me. I was like, whoa, so what actually is happening? Because there are actual people on the boat that I think would come back. So it was a little confusing. But other than that, everything it's just a little build up, like Mike was maybe somewhat trying to say. But I think it's just trying to set up everything. I mean, eventually, I assume, and it's probably going to happen, is where everyone meets up, and that's when it's probably going to get way better. I'm not saying it was bad. It's just they were laying down the framework for the entire series, which I don't know. I feel like somebody said they announced how many episodes or seasons, but for the first episode, I understand that yeah, you have to set up everything, and I think they had a decent arc. I'm sure second episode Mike can confirm, but just yes or no, it's gonna be a lot more of the same, setting up new characters like in an arc
Oh,
for
yeah, like in episode 2, it's just a lot more setup.
more characters, correct?
Certain, it's sort of same, but one more character.
Okay, and I feel like they're gonna sort of keep on doing that until, let's say, the Marvel map in the fourth episode, maybe. Then that's when you'll see serious shit go down.
so
But
let me ask you this: Is it? I don't want to say like I don't know how to phrase this for the lack of a better term. Is it right for people to compare this to Game of Thrones?
No, it's not right at all. It's
well,
not.
well, no, I
Be-
never seen it, so I can't say yes or
No,
no.
but what I could honestly say is that you cannot compare this to Game of Thrones. Of course, they're both in the
Fan-
medieval times.
Fantasy.
Yeah, fantasy. You cannot compare every single medieval fantasy show to Game of Thrones or anything because
Well,
like
no,
this is
I don't even want to compare this to Game of Thrones because there's a lot of fucking uh, what is it? Adult content, as in fucking what cousins, brothers, sisters,
no, that's what I'm
Well,
saying.
people have to compare it to something good, to something trendy, right?
So
That's
I'm gonna
that's
I'm
what I'm
gonna
like.
compare it to Willow.
It's like Nintendo Switch and their games. Everything gets fucking compared to Breath of the Wild. Like that's like the staple. It's like, oh,
I'm
but is it Breath of the Wild good? Like,
I'm
no.
I'm comparing this to Willow,
Okay.
and I
I mean,
like Willow.
that's a
Also,
good comparison.
The world's population that still remembers Willow, but okay.
yeah. Also, no, there's a new series coming out for Disney
I
Yeah,
Plus.
stand by what I said.
Yeah,
yeah.
no,
And I
Willow.
mean, I don't know anything about fucking Willow, but I remember there
Well,
was a time where people were comparing every single fucking game to like Dark Souls. They compared like Crash Bandicoot 4 to Dark Souls. Like, what
no,
the
they did
fuck?
not.
Yes, they did. They did. You could actually look it up. IGN fucking said it's harder than Dark Souls.
Well, that's just a level. That's not the same sort of realm.
But anyways, like you cannot compare every single medieval fantasy. It's its own thing. Lord of the Rings is literally came out 3 movies and then plus 3 more Hobbit movies and then now the show and more books that are coming out. And it's his own thing. It's its own world, and Game of Thrones is his own thing. It's his own world, and I think people just need to start fucking respecting that and stop comparing everything to each other, because
Wait, so
then
you
you.
want to respect Game of Thrones more?
I mean, I'm going to respect Game of Thrones more because I know Game of Thrones and I love Game of Thrones.
But so that's the next one I was going to ask you, Mike. Then, are you
Yeah,
continue watching Rings of Power?
huh?
Are you going to continue watching Rings of Power?
He
At
said
this
no.
at this point, no.
Isn't
I
that
just
kind of
don't.
fair though? Because like you gave Game of Thrones a chance because you actually had a full season to watch,
Yeah,
whereas this you only had one episode to watch.
I had
two.
6 movies to watch to get into Lord of the Rings, and I just couldn't get into it.
Oh, wait. So you didn't like the movies?
The movies were okay, but I will not go back and sit down and watch them and invest more time into them. I
Mm.
just choose not to.
Is it just because it doesn't have dragons?
No, there's dragons. There's a CGI dragon in The Hobbit.
The Hobbit, but
The
I
dragons, not dragon.
yeah.
mean, there was one dragon. It's
Um,
good enough.
Bilbo Baggins.
You know what, Bilbo Baggins? I'm all in.
I'll, I'll I'll say this much since I haven't given my input yet. I'm not hooked. Like, there's nothing meaty enough for me to be like, oh my god, I need to know what's gonna happen next to this character. It's more of like Ham said, like the setup. Like, I see the setup. It's fairly obvious. Like, here's your vast array of characters we're gonna introduce. We're not gonna give anything away just yet, but we just want you to be familiar with them, and that's it. And I think for me, like, the story isn't the strong point to this. And Mike had already said it, and everyone has to, I think, is agreeing to it. Like, the visual aesthetic to this show is like top tier for me. Like, this brings back a lot of memories of me watching Lord of the Rings, because I felt like this is more practical ish, to more compared to Lord of the Rings than it is to the Hobbit. Where, like, the Hobbit, you could definitely tell how many of those fucking trees were fake as shit. Whereas to this, it doesn't feel like that. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they legitimately shot this in a real setting. So I'm into it just because of the nostalgia that it brings, and because of how it visually appeals to me. And it's enough for me to be okay. I know a couple of these characters, so I'm interested to see how they get there, because we get Elrond and I think her name is Galadriel,
Sounds
which
about right.
Elrond is like the is Hugo Weaving in fucking Lord of the Rings, and Galadriel is the lady in the lake, that we see in Lord of the Rings. So we are already familiar with these two characters by name at least, and that kind of is like, oh, this is their early years, like this is what they were doing, like, way back in the day, kind of thing. And then obviously they introduced their new characters that they want to make sure you're getting used to, that you're familiar with, and seeing what their adventure brings and how we get to the creation of these three rings. So I'm hooked. I'm oh no, let me backtrack on that, because I just said I wasn't. I'm not hooked as in like I'm waiting for the next episode, but I am like, you know what? I want to check out the next episode and see where it
You
goes.
see the bait. You see the bait. You're not
I
hooked.
see
You
the
see the
bait.
bait.
I see the bait. I'm swimming to the bait, but I'm not gonna bite on that bait just yet.
I hear that.
So that's where I stand with the show. I think it was a pretty solid intro.
I
Like,
think so. Yeah.
I don't think it's I get the boring aspect to it, because just like how a lot of people were not into the Fellowship of the Ring because of the heavy dialogue that it had. I mean, this one is more dialogue than it is anything else. Where I did watch the very first episode of Game of Thrones a long time ago, and I remember that first episode, and it is, for the lack of a better phrase, more action packed than the first episode of Rings of Power. So I can see why people get more hooked easily into Game of Thrones than they do Rings of Power, because there's something, I guess, just more exciting to get to be hooked on. So, and that's why I keep bringing up Game of Thrones, because that's what everyone is going to compare it to. Yes, I know it's not right to compare it
Well,
to
no,
that.
especially when that other
That's
show started as well.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what it has to compete with, which is why, like, I fear that Rings of Power may not be given a full chance, because people are going to legitimately compare that to House of Dragon or in Game of Thrones in general. So that's where I stand. I really think people should at least give, the first few episodes of Rings of Power a chance. I would say, if it doesn't get you hooked by like halfway through the first season, then yeah, go
Uh,
ahead and stop watching it.
Or
But
do you think some of the hardcore fans who have read the books are kind of upset, or maybe they're not doing the story right?
Oh, I mean, they were upset about the Lord of the Rings in general. There were hardcore fans that were upset that the elves helped out the helped out at the two tower the Black Gate, when in the book that never happened. And how, what was it, like, Shelob's lair happened way before Return of the King was supposed to happen. So
Hmm.
there was already a lot of inconsistencies and inaccuracies of the movie adaptation. But you're always going to get that, like, no matter what series it is. I don't think there's ever been a true faithful adaptation of a book to a TV media.
Agreed.
Hmm.
Go karts, then, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, you know what? Go card.
Nice.
You know what? Platinum. Fuck it.
Oh, PlayStation. All right. That's pretty much it. That wraps it up. This was a long episode. Mike, do that thing you're supposed to do at the end of the show.
Oh, guys, follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter on WRMA Cast. Hit us an email. I don't know, if any questions of what's your favorite book of Lord of the Rings, what's your favorite drink, Ham will
Yeah,
tell
I was
you
about to say that. Yeah.
everything about Willow for some reason.
Oh yeah,
You know,
Willow.
how he actually might cosplay as Willow for Halloween. At
Maybe Mad.
drunkcop.ateacher@gmail.com.
Maybe Mad Morgan. Morgan. Ooh, don't drink at me.
All right. That wraps it up. Any closing words, gentlemen?
Baby Gandalf.
Drink long and pisser.